Hey folks, do it here. Well, get ready to open up on one of my blogs, and I think I'm gonna make this a standard opening now on my blogs. Um, well, you guys know how to do it. I'm gonna tell you how to do it. If you don't know how to do it, so you need to do it. I need you, gentlemen and ladies, to return yourselves to the position of attention, stand in proper sense of attention, and I need you to remove your hats from your head, place your right hands over your heart, and I need you to recite along with me the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, folks, and we now resume ourselves and rejoin ourselves with the normal scheduled programming of the 80s Podcast Channel. Hey folks, Dude here, and okay, we are back to the blog type section of my video. I've got my digital recorder going. I've got the 80s Podcast Channel on. Hopefully I've got the screen set up in such a way it doesn't sleep after 15 minutes. I had to play with a couple of power settings, but you know, it's just one of these stupid little things. Worst case scenario, I just gotta basically move the mouse around. Hopefully my sound will be coordinated with my video. In that stance, I'm basically gonna do things in segments now, so the Flip software doesn't have a chance to screw with me. Ugh, good times. Or bad times. Okay, so basically the long and the short of today is going to be, today's date is going to be, October 16, the year of our Lord 2012, Tuesday at 4:40 in the afternoon. We're about, 4 hours or so before the presidential debate. You know what? I don't care what anybody says about Barack Obama in terms of how good he is, you know, without a teleprompter. If he tries to off the cuff it on his own, he's going to look like a total dumbass. I mean, he's just not good at off the cuff stuff, no matter how full they pack his brain. There is one thing that doesn't need to come into play, though. Excuse me 1 second here. You know it. You love it. Oh, Tigger needs to make an appearance. French roast out the Keurig, no pot. Excuse me 1 second here. Oh, it's still hot. Oh, that is rocking. That is Tully's French roasting. Man, it is good. Oh, excuse me 1 second. Double dipping. And I am holding on on the microphone and trying not to lip pop it too much, learn my technique, and, you know, trying to make this thing sound half decent. But, you know, it's kind of one of those audio things you kind of have to play with and learn how to do it correctly. And, of course, not blow people's speakers out. I do have a set of headphones in, and I am basically using the output jack on the digital recorder, so I kind of have an idea of my volume level, so hopefully it's working. I'm going roundy round. Okay. Basically, what's going on is Obama's going to come in here, and he's got to do some very, very, very serious catch-up. His ass got handed to him so badly last time he tangled with Mitt Romney. Alright, let's just put it in perspective. If Mitt Romney was wearing white shoes, they would have been brown because he had them so far up of Obama's ass. Or Barack Kaka, as I've been calling him on my Facebook page. That would be www.facebook.com/dudejerky. You can find me there, okay? Friend me, you know, join my page, subscribe to my channel, you know, my usual schlocky stuff. But you know what? I got to give you guys credit, okay? Let's just put this in perspective here. Let me find the video. Okay, today's date, of course, being October 16th, 2012. Let me find my video. Click over on my video manager. And this is kind of a thank you, but let me see over here. See if I can't find it real stupid real quick. Doop-de-doo. Oh, man. Let me try this again. Yes. Okay, I cracked 500,000 views on May the 3rd. Okay, that's pretty freaking phenomenal. Okay, I mean, basically this channel was kind of creeping along. Then I put out some videos that kind of got some notice, and now it is going nuclear. Let me just open this in another tab. Do things nice and easy here. I cracked. Okay, let's see. That was May 3rd, 2012. 500,000 views. October 12th. not that terribly much longer, I'm closing on 800,000 views. That's the only thing I can say that, and that's damn. Thank you so very much. But you know what? This is not basically me glomming on and saying how great my channel is and, you know, how many views I've gotten, all the rest of the happy horse mess. This is basically blogging on about, well, first off and foremost, I mean, I know I need to have the 3,000K subscriber contest. It's been hanging back by the waysides, and I've been busy and stuff. Okay, behind the scenes, my home insurance, also known as Nationwide, said, you know what, dude, we don't like your porch. And I was like, yeah, I know, it's an old-ass porch. House was built back in 38. The porch is tired. What are you trying to tell me? They're like, no, dude, we don't like your porch. And I'm like, yeah, that's nice, but how bad can it be? And they're like, well, we're afraid a mailman's going to go crashing through the steps or crashing through the floorboards, and we can't have that. You need to fix it. Alright, so Mrs. Dude and I basically dropped, I don't even want to say the number. Let's just say north of $2,000 and south of $3,000, but a lot of flipping cash, okay? For a new front porch / front steps / rear steps, and ouch. Anyway, that problem's fixed. Then they said, oh, we don't like this crack in your foundation. If you guys know the way older homes are built, basically you have your foundation, which is basically it's a square block. They pour the concrete into the ground, they put the house on top, and they have something called piers. And what they are, for all intents and purposes, is they're basically, they're like square pieces of concrete that point up. They put the porch down on top of that. Well, from the front of the house, on the foundation to the pier, one basically kind of walked away from the other. Of course, you know, we had that 5 point whatever Richter earthquake we had. It's an old-ass house. Stuff settles. But one's kind of migrated away from the other. You hit the foundation with a hammer. The hammer goes crunch, and it makes a little dent, and it's not good because, you know, the foundation it's an okay pour, but it won't hold up to that kind of abuse for too terribly long. You hit the pier with a hammer, and all you have is dunk, and the hammer goes bouncing off because basically you're beating on something that was poured very, very, very well. And it is one serious piece of concrete. It'll take a serious ass kick, and it ain't going nowhere. But basically, the 1 and 2 of them have separated slightly. There is probably about, maybe about at the top where it's probably separated the most, maybe about a ½ inch, 3/4 at the most. I mean, you know, it really is not like a structural thing. Well, this chick goes walking around my house, and she goes, oh no, you have foundation damage. Dun, dun, dun. We gotta fix that. Translation, you gotta fix that. I was like, oh man, you gotta be flipping kidding me. So basically the long and the short is I basically bought myself the better part of 100 pounds of quick concrete and mixing up small little batches, packing in the hole, packing around the crack, packing it on the outside, making basically a concrete bandage that looks, well, not entirely amateurish, but halfway decent in the process. And that's where we go to from there. Now, the other thing, too, is also the other cases, basically, that I kind of need to make note of the fact that, basically, the porch got done. The foundation now looks half decent. I still got to do a little bit more work on it and, you know, backfill the hole that I dug to clean it up. But the other part of it is, they go, you know what, we don't like the first floor windows. And I'm like, first floor. And I even called the insurance agent. I was like, dude, what does she mean by first floor? And he goes, I don't know. I'm going to have to come out and I'll have to take a look. How bad is it then when your insurance agent has to come out to basically inspect the inspector's work to figure out what the hell she was talking about? That is my life. Well, anyway, he looks at it and goes, all right, dude, let's see. And of course, he wasn't calling me dude. He was calling me my real name. But he was like, okay, dude, let's see what we got here. Your windows on your main floor look okay. And I was like, dude, it's got storm windows. Are they ever even open? And he goes, apparently not. They look pretty spiffy. Let's see what else we got. And he goes, you know, these basement windows look a little rough. And I was like, dude, you don't think she means... And he goes, yeah, she means basement windows as being the first floor. I was like, all right, dude, well, what's her problem? She goes, oh, well, she thinks they're rotten. I was like, they are not rotten. I go down to the basement, I could have a raging rainstorm, wind sleeting in sideways, and I get no migration inside. As a matter of fact, my dehumidifier runs not real often. As a matter of fact, I got that sucker propped up on my sink so it drains constantly. The sink stays a little bit moist in the bottom because it's a basement. It's always attracting some water. But the long and the short is basically my basement is dry. It took a long row to hoe to get it to that point. but basically it now is dry. I have raging, nasty storms outside, and my basement stays dead dry. Why? The walls are dead dry, which means the basement's dead dry, which means, everything is dead dry. Well, anyway, the case in point on that one now is I'm outside chipping, scraping, decrudding, reglazing, deglazing, prettying up some windows that are probably dating from about 1938. It is my life. It is my life. It is my path I must struggle forward on. Okay, but basically, that's me right now. But that's kind of why I haven't done the contest, is because I've been working on my frickin' house. My insurance company. You know what? If I had another, 30, 40K or something along those lines, I would just throw it to the mortgage guy and say, here's your money. Piss off. Unfortunately, I don't have 30 or 40 spare K sitting around in liquidity. I have it in hard form, but I'm not about to start disposing of my disposable income by cashing in my firearms or my other stuff. That's not going to happen. All right, so basically the presidential debate's coming on tonight, and of course we need to approach this with one very simple mindset. I've been listening to all the talking heads, been looking around at all the blogs, been looking around all the forum boards, and I've been looking all over the internet, and basically what it's come down to be is basically this debate is going to be Mitt Romney's to lose. It is not going to be Barack Obama's to win, because Barack Obama right now, let's just say his poll numbers are sinking fast. And that's the intellectual dishonesty of it as well. Basically, these polling guys have said, okay, we have Barack Obama, he's way ahead, way ahead. And then all of a sudden, all these undecideds are going, hey man, you know what? I suddenly decided that, well, Barack Obama sucks. And I'm simply going to change up my vote, and I'm now going to vote for Mitt Romney. Who do you know switches up in midstream for a presidential election? Yeah, most times I basically go in the outset going, you know what? I don't like him. Pick, whichever one on the side of the fence you're talking about. I don't like him. X number of reasons why, and of course all the chapter and verse reasons why. It basically is kind of cut and dried how people think. You don't just go, okay, it's a month before the election, and you know what? I'm going to switch up in midstream. I really don't like X. I'm going to pick Y, because Y is so much better than the X, and X really has kind of turned me off along by the wayside, and you know what? I was looking at Z, but Z really doesn't have a chance, so I'm just going to pick Y. Why? Because I like him. Excuse me, need another tiggy break here. But basically excuse me. It's very intellectually dishonest for these polling guys to go, okay, the population of the population that basically votes does not comprise 27% more Democrats than Republicans. And if you look at a lot of these polls, they're saying 9% oversampled 3 times. That's not just intellectually dishonest. That is flat out dishonest. When you say basically you're going to oversample a minority or a separate sect, I mean, basically, if you look at the way the country works, the country is almost 50-50. We're still conservative, okay? We are still conservative. We are not a true 50-50 raging Leninist, communist, socialist, pick it ism, whatever you wish to pick them. We do not roll like that. Also, the other side of it, too, this is the part that really tends to piss off the Democrats, is a lot of Latinos are actually very conservative, very family-oriented, and they really do not partake of the abortion thing because they're usually Catholics, and they're usually very staunch Catholics, and they're usually very decent people that basically, come over here. Unfortunately, they're not doing it the right way, but they're usually very decent people trying to get out of the crap hole in which they left out of. And I'm going to try to keep this a clean one. I'm going to try not to curse this time, but basically, when you look at the South American areas, it's horrible. I mean, basically, there's not a lot of work. Yeah, you can survive, but if you're making coca, you're making like $300-400, at best a month. I mean, it's nothing to survive on down there. And the guys that make the big money, the guys that roll the blow up north. But here's the other. If you guys have been watching the news, this is hilarious. If you guys watch Breaking Bad and you're into that series, I kind of watched a little bit here and there, and it's kind of humorous, kind of fun. Guy's basically like a science teacher, cracks meth, and that's what he does. He basically makes meth for the drug gangs, and the drug gangs, of course, are now selling off to the bad boys, and the bad boys are now doing all the meth they can have. Well, the American Drug Enforcement Agency has enforced so strongly upon methamphetamine production in the United States that the Mexicans are rolling cheap meth northbound. Oh man, that cracked me up when I read that story. It's like, hey, is that 55-gallon drum full of oil or full of methamphetamine? Let's find out. Alright, so basically the DEA was too efficient. Okay, I'm going circular here, but the other thing, too, is this political thing it's a political thing, okay? No matter what, you guys go into it with an open mind, basically stating it is what it is. It's going to be a political thing. There's people that live their lives around it, like the Democrats. It's their religion, okay? Government is their religion. No matter what their sect is in Christianity, Judaism, whatever parcel, or any other form of, deity worship, or, earth worship, or tree worship, or, even if they're like Wiccans, I mean, their first thing is always going to be government. Government is their religion. That's what they format their silos around. That's how they roll. That is it. There is nothing else but government. And the other thing, too, it's really intellectually dishonest about it, is they gotta lie to represent themselves in the government. If they basically were truthful, they would never get elected, and they would never have a chance to throw all this crap by the wayside. The crucifixing urine from the NEA, and I'm sorry, not NEA, but the Endowment of the Arts, and the NEA playing all the the Happy Horse Mess games with trying to indoctrinate your children with all kinds of stupid liberalisms, and it's politics, okay? Basically, they figure along the lines of Trotskyite, and of course, like the good lines along Leninism, where you basically get them young, you inculcate them, and they're going to be on your side for frickin' ever. Not always. Not always. And then the other thing that's really, truly intellectually dishonest, and this really pisses me off, is where we needed to have school vouchers, and there's a major crossover in the African-American community, and I'm using that to be polite, okay? It's getting bumping stuff. And I'm using that to be polite. Normally, I just say black Americans, or Americans that just happen to be black, but African Americans, they want the school vouchers too, because they want to be able to send their kids wherever they want to, and both sides are saying, no, we don't want to do that, and it's because the Democrats don't want to give up their teacher union type guys, and because the Republicans are thinking, no, it's just very convenient to basically just have everybody boxed in a public school. We don't want to basically give up vouchers. You know what? I don't like the fact I'm paying for somebody else's education and indoctrinate kids with a stupid line of thinking. I would rather them have a voucher, be able to pick a school that they like. I would also rather them to have the ability to pick a school that basically teaches the kids with the stuff that they want. Now, if that's church-oriented, you know what? Deal with it. There is no legislation. There is no abridgment to the Constitution. There is no amendment that says there has to be a separation of church and state. Essentially, I believe it was a letter either from Thomas Jefferson or Ben Franklin or one of those guys basically stating there should be a separation of church and state in the Federalist Papers. Maybe. I got to research that, but, my fragmentary knowledge on some of that stuff, just, I kind of stick one, I put A and B together and get G, so that's just the way that one works. But it took place in a letter. It was never a piece of legislation, and also the other fact of the matter is, you're going to have no separation of church and state, okay, dude? That's just how it is. This reminds me of something. I gotta fix this camo. Ever since YouTube dicked around with the way the channel looks, I have not gotten this thing to look right, and I hate this little mauve, whatever kind of off silver, pinkish kind of salmon. Blech. Ugh. And then the other thing too is also on Facebook. You guys got to make sure that you have your channels. Your pages enabled in such a way that you basically have them in your interest feed. Basically, overlight the like button, drag down, add to interest feed. You have to have that locked in place, or basically a lot of your blogs are not going to show up when you need them to. A lot of your favorite pages are not going to update. And a lot of your commercial enterprises, if they don't pay Facebook enough money, your stuff just doesn't come up. So basically, that's how that one works. Even though their stocks are going... That's just how it works. Okay, but the long and the short is basically the political stuff and the presidential debate going on tonight. Approach it in this manner. Listen to Romney and listen to Obama. Now, when I'm saying listen, I'm not just saying let the guy go, okay, so 5 years ago your plan comprised blah, 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 blah. No, don't do that. What you have to do is you have to listen to the guy to say, Oh crap, he's rehashing that. He talked about that 2 weeks ago. Or he's basically stating this in only a slightly different way in which he said it previously. And of course, the other thing too, you'll notice that it's always going to be a point of distraction by Obama. He cannot run on his record. His record is completely frickin' abysmal. I mean, his record is so terrible in fact right now that I don't think you get elected for dog catcher. That's putting it very nicely. So basically, what's going on there is this is going to be the presidential debate. The basically is going to be Mitt Romney's to lose, not Obama's to win, because Obama now basically is going to try to distract as much as possible, try to throw out as much crap as possible, and try to throw it as much just needless fluff and just try to screw everybody up in such a manner and state that, you're so distracted you really don't catch the fact that, when you pull the curtain back, there's the guy that was operating the big Oz guy. Yeah, do not look behind the curtain. Yeah, that's going to be exactly what you got to worry about with Obama, Barack Kaka. It's basically he's going to throw a point of distraction, and you know what? He isn't good at going off script. He really isn't. Okay, and I think I dropped out there. So basically, you're just going to have to look at this thing, and you're going to have to approach it in the mindset of they're probably both very, very serious politicians. One, however, is competent. The other is a stuffed shirt. Or as Clint Eastwood put it, he's that empty shirt with a smile in front of it. That's it. Cut and dry. All right, I'm going to sign off on this one, and I know I had to break off a couple pieces and times there because my camcorder got full. First time on that one. Alright, folks, so basically here in the 80s Podcast Channel, I can tell you know what? Eat good, keep in the 10 ring. Don't ever listen to a politician and think he isn't full of stuff, because he is. Good times. I'm going to put my microphone down now so I can do my standard sign off. Good times.